Hi, josemonkey. Can you guess my location?
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm josemonkey, and I find people who ask to be found. People who stumble across my videos for the very first time often assume that I only find people in the United States, since so many of the videos I do are in the United States. But I've actually found people in 60 different countries so far. Among the people who are less familiar with my work, one of the most common comments that they will make is that I could never find anybody in Africa, as if Africa is one big country. Of course, those of you who have been watching me for a while know that I've already found many people in several different African countries. But it's been a minute since I found someone in an African country, so let's take a look at today's video, which, spoiler alert, is somewhere in Africa. It's just 12 seconds long. Check it out.
Hi, josemonkey. Can you guess my location? I believe this will be a very hard one for you.
So what can we see? This person asked me to figure out their location and... Flag on the play! That's way too much blocking, bro. Chad's right, I'm afraid. This person is blocking an awful large part of the screen. And according to the josemonkey rulebook, any time when a person is blocking more than half the screen for more than half the video shall constitute unreasonable blocking. I plugged this one into the Monkey Tech Blockmaster 3000, and it told me that there were parts of this video where this person was blocking over 60% of the screen. So yeah, that's a penalty. You owe me a picture of a cute dog or some other adorable animal. Here's my dog Chopper. Okay, so as I was saying, behind this person we see this building that is red and brown. On the upper floor of the building we can see that there are some flags here. I'll come back to that. Next we see this rather colorful building, and then what appears to be a church. As I keep turning we can see a couple of communications towers, and then this building which is kind of a pink color. A couple other things that I spotted in this video are the artfully trimmed bushes and trees, this pattern of diagonal lines that we see on the paver walkway here, and also these posts that have kind of star designs at the top. And that's about it. Okay, so the flags that we see look to me like the Angolan flag. Angola is a country on the west central coast of southern Africa, and if that's where this is, it would be a new country for me. But how was I going to find this place? The building with the flag looked like it was probably some kind of government office building, but I wasn't sure how helpful that was going to be. There are probably buildings like that in every major city in Angola. I figured this person was standing in like a park or garden of some kind, so initially I started just looking for parks in Angolan cities. I started with Luanda, which is the capital city and the largest city in Angola, and I looked at a whole bunch of places there, but I didn't find it. I thought maybe I could look for churches in Angola and see if I found any that looked like the one in the video. But guys, I got results for many different churches, and some of them looked similar, but none of them were right, including this one, which isn't even a church, it's a school. I considered running a query against the OpenStreetMap database to look for government buildings that were very close to churches, but I wasn't sure how successful that would be. There are tags for marking buildings as government offices in the OpenStreetMap, but they're not really consistently used. But I tried it anyway, and I got a bunch of results and none of them were right. I had to switch up my approach. Sometimes if you're looking for a place and you know what it looks like but don't know where it is, there's a trick that you can use. Google Lens. No, I'm just kidding, dog. If you go to Google Maps and pick cities that you think might be the right place, you can look at the user-submitted photos that are tagged as being in that city, and you can see if any of those photos match what you're looking for. You guys saw me use this approach recently in episode 42 when I found that place in Massachusetts. I was hoping that if I looked at some cities in Angola, that I might be able to find photos that matched what I saw in the video. I was thinking one of the buildings that we see, or maybe the park. So I brought up a list of the largest cities in Angola, and I just started going through them one by one and bringing up Google Maps to look at the photos. Actually, I skipped Luanda because I had already looked at a bunch of places there and I figured it wasn't there. Anyway, when I got to the 5th city on the list, I was looking through the photos when I saw this one. To my surprise, that building looked very much like the colorful building that we see off in the distance in this video. And I was super excited until I realized I didn't know where it was. The photo did not identify what the building was, and it did not specify a precise location. All I knew is that it was somewhere in the city of Quito. Okay, but now that I had an idea where to look, I thought maybe I could look for churches in that city. So that's what I did, and soon I found this one, which looked to me like it could be the right one. And get this, guys, that photo was taken by the same person who took that other photo. So I thought there was a pretty good chance that they might be in the same area. Now we were getting somewhere. I had a location for that church, so I figured I could look around that area. Of course, there was no Google Street View here, so I had to rely on other user-submitted photos and satellite imagery. But right near that church, I saw this area that had some bushes and trees and a walkway. And guys, check out this pattern. That area was surrounding some sort of historical landmark, so I brought up the user-submitted photos for that. And when I did, I saw this one. Guys, that was it. You were here, in Quito, Angola. Okay, so this person was standing in Independence Square, which is home to this statue. They were actually standing right in front of the statue when they recorded the video. That's why they were very careful to only give me a 180-degree view, making sure to keep the statue out of sight. By the way, it was only once I found this place that I realized that this video is mirrored. You need to flip it around to make everything match. Anyway, here's that pink building that we see in the video, and also that government office that has the flags on it. Oh, and I also found those colorful buildings, which are apparently some kind of like townhouse complex. By the way, guys, I know I explained that pretty quickly, but it actually took me a really long time to find this. Unfortunately, my notes were not as precise as they usually are, so I had to estimate the time. And my best guess is that it took me something like 3.5 hours. But I found it. Okay, it's time to check which previous location was closest to this one. And this time we have to go all the way back to Season 1, Episode 28 in Kigali, Rwanda. And that is not particularly close to this place. That is nearly 1,900 kilometers, or nearly 1,200 miles away. As I mentioned earlier, Angola is a new country for me, so that brings the list of countries in which I found people so far to 61. Guys, if anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that, on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.